Good afternoon, everybody. Very warm welcome to everybody. I'm Ludwig from the Singapore Environment Institute, your MC for today. Singapore Environment Institute, or SEI in short, is the Training and Knowledge Division of the National Environment Agency. Thank you once again for attending today's professional sharing series on dynamics of the industrial energy efficiency market in Singapore, a strategic perspective. As we have received overwhelming response for today's event, we didn't want to disappoint anybody who are interested to meet our guest speaker today. We're actually holding the sessions over two different rooms, so room 1 and room 2. During Q&A, we'll do a two-way live feed where we can see them on the screen on my right, and we can also hear them. So participants in room 2 will not be disappointed. We can actually hear you. So right now, I want to say hi, and please give me a response. Hello. All right, they are live. Because it's afternoon, you see, so sometime after lunch you get a kind of grumpy feeling. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you more about the professional sharing series. We have been staging this series, or PSS in short, since 2004. We've hosted more than 50 eminent academics, policy leaders, and industry experts. This is one of our knowledge sharing platforms, where we seek to promote the dynamic exchange of environmental information and knowledge within NEA and amongst industrial professionals. Being the largest energy consumer in Singapore, the industrial sector has been one of the main focuses in the nation's efforts to better manage energy usage, where improved and sustained energy management have huge potential in reaping significant benefits for both Singapore's economy as well as industries in terms of lesser energy wastage and better resource efficiency. Today's topic is therefore of interest to many of us present, and I'm pleased to have with us our guest speaker, Mr. Ravi Krishnaswamy. As Frost & Sullivan's Vice President and Global Leader of Energy and Power System Practice, Asia Pacific, Ravi offers in-depth knowledge and market insights to the technologies, the energy and power industry. In the past 18 years, he has advised clients in the power, renewable energy, utilities, power systems, energy management, as well as oil and gas sectors in Asia Pacific region, Europe, and North America. That's a lot of things. He enjoys frequent mentions and interviews in various business media such as CNBC, Bloomberg, BBC. He has also served as keynote speaker in more than 25 energy and power industry conferences across the Asia Pacific and USA. So without further ado, let's put our hands together to welcome Ravi.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to cover a few topics on this, the theme of energy efficiency. Before that, I just want to set the context based on a research that Frost & Sullivan continues to do what we call megatrends. So I'm just trying to give you a big picture in terms of where the whole energy efficiency theme fits into the global energy planning and security standpoint. Then, of course, I would like to cover a little bit in terms of the policy framework and some, I would say, insights in terms of what are the factors that is driving the energy efficiency market, primarily the industrial energy efficiency market in Singapore, and also some numbers. Obviously, we are a research company, so obviously we like giving out numbers. So we can talk about some specific investment opportunities or say revenue opportunities for those companies that are in the ESCO or in the business of servicing and supplying products for energy efficiency projects. And then I'll also give you a brief perspective on the Asia Pacific and primarily I would say the external Asian region in terms of what are the opportunities for the energy management, energy efficiency segment. So let me get into the actual presentation. A quick introduction about Frost & Sullivan. We are a global growth consulting company. So we started our life as a market research publishing company back in 1961 in New York. So we are a 52-year-old company. Over the years, we expanded both geographically and also in terms of the industries that we track. Currently, we track about 10 different industries. Again, themes like energy efficiency is something which cuts across the sectors that we track, like buildings, transportation, chemical industry, or fab, semicon, the utility industry, building technology. So I think we track a very wide variety of industries, and we're able to leverage the knowledge that we have from one of the sectors. As part of our natural extension to kind of advise our clients, we are currently offering a program called Visionary Research or Visionary Innovation Research, which really looks at a longer term view of things in terms of industry convergence, in terms of technological change, in terms of opportunities or threats for companies and how they should be kind of positioning themselves. So I'll give you a quick snapshot of a couple of those research findings before I get into the energy efficiency theme specific and how these things fits into the global megatrends. Quickly, what is a megatrend? A megatrend is something which is very transformational in nature, which is sustained, which means it can be sustained over a 15-20 year time frame, and that is likely to change the contours of the industry, the jobs, the society, economies, etc. So this is again an effort of a global research team, and this helps organizations and also governments in terms of the decision making, in terms of looking at the futuristic industries, where they should be putting the money in terms of research, in terms of product development, in terms of countries, so on and so forth. So these are some of the big megatrends that we've been tracking. One is obviously urbanization is not a recent trend, but that is something which is gaining, I would say, increased prominence. And what we're seeing is there are several sub-trends within these. And this trend specifically has got a huge impact for the topic that we're currently discussing in terms of energy efficiency. Because urbanization has a significant impact on transportation, housing, on utility distribution, healthcare, so on and so forth. So obviously, what this all means for any specific sector, in this case, energy sector, I think is a big, I would say, area of discussion and research. The other related aspect, what we see is the smart. We hear a lot about smart buildings, smart grid, smart cars. Is smart a kind of a buzzword? Probably not. I think what we're seeing is, I think the industries are trying to make their own process and product more efficient. Again, which means more green. And that's what I think we are seeing, a new wave, not just being sustainable, but also more efficient. The other key global megatrend, what we see is called what we kind of call as innovating to zero. Again, one thing we heard enough is in terms of emissions. How do we kind of reduce emissions? But then the innovating to zero concept moves beyond emissions. It's in terms of zero accidents, in terms of zero quality defects. I think so. There are a lot of other things in a factory, manufacturing process, any kind of business environment. I think that needs to move towards what we call this innovating to zero. And what are companies doing? What kind of tools are available? What kind of products are available to help organizations move towards that? So that's another trend we see in terms of innovating to zero. Few of the other, I would say, generic trends we see are in terms of health, wellness, aging, in terms of silver kind of societies and how governments and companies are being prepared. Social trends, I think how social media is having a profound impact in terms of, again, the societies and businesses. So I think these are megatrends, but these are not something which are new, so that's an ongoing evolution, I would say. And we're seeing a lot of new business models emerging. Of course, cloud is one of them. I think how different businesses are using cloud to kind of enable their services. I think, again, energy efficiency is a case in point. How cloud is used to offer energy monitoring, verification services, improvisation, etc. So I think, again, a lot of companies are looking at utilizing cloud to offer that ESCO energy efficiency solutions. I think the last one is more in terms of personal e-mobility. This is beyond electric cars. It's more in terms of micro-mobility, urban mobility, different integrated urban mobility solutions, etc. So the one thing what we see is also a kind of convergence of a lot of these trends. It's not anymore isolated industries, but a lot of these are converging and forming opportunities and also threat to certain industries. So it depends on which part of the value chain you are. I think that could either be an opportunity or a threat to your existing business. So that's where I think we come in terms of looking at these specific trends and making it sense for your organization or your entity. So I will now kind of zoom into the energy and power sector specific. What are the different technology trends we are seeing? And again, where does that today's topic fit in there? Okay, let me start from the top, the energy storage, I think. Energy storage is a technology which has been in existence for 40, 50 years. We have been using batteries for many years. But I think the reason why it's gaining more prominence is not because of the concept, but because of the application. How energy storage can be used basically in a utility context and industrial context to shift or time shift the demand and supply. So I think that's why the prominence and the importance of this technology is coming in. And that's why I think the need for scaling of the technology and integrating with the existing power distribution system. So I think that's one, I would say, a big area where a lot of companies are putting in money, and we are seeing again a big, I would say, interconnection with the energy efficiency team. Another related area of technology we see is the smart grid and the super grid, where I think we're trying to make the whole utility system more intelligent. Real-time communication with two-way interface. So I think that's another area which is gaining prominence. The third area is bioenergy. Of course, biodiesel has probably, I think, is not at its peak, but still I think there are a lot of other different bioenergy technologies which are kind of becoming increasingly important. The fourth technology we see is hydrogen and fuel cell. Of course, fuel cell is again not a very new technology. It's been used in the kind of space for several years. But what we're seeing is again there are a lot of niche applications evolving for fuel cells, primarily in economies like Europe, Japan. I think they're using for combined heat and power, micro CHP. So this is again an area where we see a lot of development ongoing. Even though on the vehicle side, I think fuel cell has fallen behind its EV competition in terms of the technology for vehicles. Another interesting development we are seeing is in terms of clean coal. We can even say clean coal is kind of replacing the nuclear in a way or the other, because till about 2011, before the great earthquake in Japan, everybody is talking about nuclear renaissance. Obviously, after that, I think there's big concern in several countries, like including Germany, Italy, has announced plans for kind of retiring all the nuclear assets. The next big question is what's going to be replacing nuclear as a base load. We've seen there has been a lot of interest, but then there is a renewed interest and investment in really developing clean coal technologies across the spectrum, including carbon capture and also the ITCC technologies. So we're seeing renewed interest in this, and we believe coal will still have a prominent and big place to play in the whole energy equation of most of the countries, if not all. Solar, again, is a technology which has grown phenomenally in the last decade or so. And currently, again, I think the prices are so subdued, I think it's getting attractive for solar as application to spread beyond what was traditionally kind of feasible. So solar, both PV and the concentrated solar is kind of, we believe, I think it's still a technology which will kind of have a significant momentum in different parts of the world. Again, if you look at solar, obviously US, countries like India are kind of some of the big growth markets for solar. Europe probably still, I think, going to remain weak for quite a while. So and Japan is another big market. So we are seeing a lot of prominent market for solar. I'll kind of come to energy efficiency before, after I finish the other one. So waste to energy, again, it has got a very direct impact of industrialization and urbanization. So obviously, I think once you have more waste, obviously you need to find a way of managing the waste. So it's kind of obvious that the waste energy technologies and the solutions will kind of get more prominent. Wind, again, I think wind is becoming big and big, going farther. See, I think Europe has had a significant growth with respect to wind onshore. So currently, I think the big wave is offshore. And there are turbines being designed for about 15 megawatt single turbine capacity, which could potentially go offshore up to 1,500 kilometers. So I think we're looking at a real leapfrogging of the technology with respect to the wind sector. The other major development, I would say, which is happening as we speak, is in the kind of scale of unconventional gas. Of course, the first thing which comes to mind is shale gas. And I think there is enough, I would say, data and inputs to see how the shale gas is completely rewriting the US kind of energy balance and also the competency of its own manufacturing and process industries. So again, shale is, I would say, one big innovation, what we see in the last decade or so, and which is likely to continue and spread into the next decade into several other countries. Okay, last but not least is energy efficiency. Obviously, I think this is not a new concept. It's not a new terminology, but then something which is increasingly gaining an acceptance, and also a recognition that I think governments and industries need to do more, because it's kind of also referred to as megawatts. Something which can be saved need not be produced, obviously. So to that effect, I think it negates the resource utilization, it negates emissions. So I think so that's, I would say, kind of with that, let me move into the other slides. Just to give you a global perspective again, how big a role energy efficiency could play, or energy savings could play in terms of the overall carbon emission reduction. So I think we're looking at about 54% potentially between the year 2008 and 2035, which could be brought about because of the energy